The original goal is like to make $1 million, you know, like 10 million. No, the original goal of the channel is just to entertain the pants off of people. I knew I had it in me, and like I maybe needed more attention than I thought I needed. I don't know what it was, but the original goal of the channel was 100% just to get in front of the camera and do something funny and entertain. Like that was it. That was it.
What's going on, guys? It's Nick from Tales, Ales, and Trails. Today we've got the Calirado Kid, Joe Foft, on the podcast. I'm super excited about this one. Like many of you, I've followed him on Instagram, on TikTok. I've really enjoyed his content. He makes really humorous, relatable mountain biking videos. He's a fantastic guy. Made some time for me to come out to Granite Bay. We sat on some rocks, we talked about mountain biking, talked about his passion for it, talked about the content creation side of things. Really just an awesome discussion. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. The thing I want to say about Joe is he's exactly who he portrays himself to be in the videos. He's energetic, he's fun-loving, he's hilarious. I just really got a kick out of being able to spend some time with him and kind of pick his brain about mountain biking, about content creation, about all of it. And it was an unseasonably warm day in November. I think it was like 80 degrees down in Granite Bay. So without further ado, please enjoy this episode of Tales, Ales, and Trails with Joe Foft, the Calirado Kid. Cheers. Well, Joe, thanks so much for being here. Honestly, thanks so much for having me. This is kind of your home territory.
Yeah, exactly. We're setting up the set out here.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me a long time to install all the rocks and everything for the backdrop here, but I think it looks good. I think it came out good. Cost me $10 million, but it's this is going to be a great backdrop for this podcast. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, man. Well, first off, how are you? How are things? I know you're incredibly busy right now.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, like, so I went full time as of January, and then I realized like we're in October, like we're in November now.
Yeah.
So the fact that this happened over the course of the year, and I'm like trying to reflect on this year and all the things that happened and all the places I went and all this stuff, and it's like, it's been a whirlwind. Like it's almost like you got to stop and appreciate it, but you always got to move forward at the same time too. So it's like, I got to think of like a recap video I could put together. Like, here's all the places I've been, here's all the people I met. Because yeah, we're talking like Bentonville, Ecuador, Eureka Springs, like Utah for Rampage, like all these places that I couldn't have done before having like prior to going full time. It was, it's hard. I got kids and stuff, so it's like working and getting them home from school and stuff. So my wife's very supportive of all this stuff, but making that happen has been crazy. And it's resulted in more travel, more riding, and all the cool stuff we want to do. It's like the dream, right? It's like living the dream, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fast. I mean, it seems like, I follow you obviously on socials and stuff. It seems like you're in a different state every week almost, or a different country. And, it just seems like you've been going nonstop since going full time. It's had to have been challenging and rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, I was talking to my neighbors. I was like, oh yeah, I finally get a chance to settle down for the next week. She's like, sounds like you got a really rough job. I'm like, yeah, that's a good point you make there. I got nothing to complain about. It's been good. As a creator, we always have the stress on our shoulders of like coming up with new things and trying to elevate the content or do something different so it stays fresh and not being redundant and like getting stale. And so there's always those pressures on our shoulders, but like really there's nothing I can complain about, man. It's been good and been riding more and traveling more, and yeah, it's been solid, man. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
And the weather's still 80 degrees out here in California.
I know. I mean, this is unreal. Unreal. November 1st, 80 degrees. Can't beat it.
I was going to bring like one of those reflector things so I could get us tan while we're sitting here doing the podcast. It'd be great.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Joe, obviously I wanted to talk about everything mountain biking with you, your passion for it, your content creation, all of that. I think where I wanted to start was maybe talking a little bit about your background, about where you're from, where you grew up, and maybe this is a very large way of saying this, but getting us to here, how we got to here.
So that's like a story that's been told before, but it's like cool because you hung out with Brian.
Yeah.
And Brian and I grew up together. We weren't like the best of friends younger years, but once we went to the same school, eventually we ended up being really close friends, the old BKXC. And so I think I was in LA at the time. We were living in LA at the time, and I saw that he had started a YouTube channel, and I just like, you want to support a friend. So I'm like, oh, I'll watch these videos. He was doing like 3 videos a week on mountain biking. I was like, I didn't even mountain bike. I owned a bike at one point, but you know how we all just like casual. I never rode a real mountain bike trail. And so, yeah, I started watching his stuff, and that kind of got me interested. And then it took me a while and I finally got into the sport of mountain biking itself. But like, I've told the story before, like I kind of like got caught up in the work world in LA.
Sure.
And you just like find this routine of like going to work, coming home, cooking dinner, watching Netflix, going to sleep, and just routine. And I lost that love of the outdoors that I used to have when I was growing up. Like my dad used to always take us camping and fishing and things like that. And I was always into that. And then at some point within like a year or two, it kind of started to fall off because you get in this city routine. And then I finally like, when I finally did pick up a bike, it reinvigorated all that love for the outdoors again. And that like, as I started to fall in love with it and find all these new things like buying kayaks, fishing poles, all this stuff, tents and all this stuff, and getting back into camping and spreading that love to my kids and taking them on adventures all the time. And then like wanting to show other people like how rad it is and how life-changing, you know, whether, I told this before too, like whether it's mountain biking or something else, like what's that catalyst to get you into the outdoors again and make you fall in love? And then you branch out from there. For me, it was mountain biking. For somebody else, it could be like picking up a fishing pole, like, or whatever, but find that thing that gets you back outside. And like, that's kind of like been our journey. Brian, for example, specifically, is probably getting more people into mountain biking than you could even like account for. Like, it's crazy. I've talked to a bunch of people. They're like, oh, I got into mountain biking because of Brian. I'm like, yeah, me too. Like, he never takes credit for it, but like really like the content that he makes you want to go out and explore and see the world. And yeah, it was definitely like partly his fault that I'm here right now. So yeah. I always blame him.
No, he just has such an accessible way about his videos. I mean, it makes you feel like you're right there riding with him. Yeah. You know, having that conversation with him. And there's something kind of infectious about that. And obviously it helps that he's riding in some really amazing places. You know, I actually caught this secondhand because I was watching one of his videos and he was talking about you and how, you know, you kind of were a late bloomer to this. I think you talked about it a little bit already, but was it intimidating kind of getting back into the groove or picking up mountain biking at maybe a later age? Yeah, it was, you know, like all those fears. I made a video recently, kind of the idea of like things I was scared of when I first started mountain biking. It was basically everything, you know, like rock rolls, like skinnies, any dirt, basically everything, because everything's like unknown. Like, and I'm experiencing that again recently because I got an adventure motorcycle and I don't have a lot of motorcycle background. So like getting on that thing, when I take that off-road, it's just like mountain biking for the first time. It's like that same experience of uncertainty and nervousness that drains you mentally and physically. And I think it's like that when you start mountain biking too. It's like you take somebody on a trail and you're, get over this rock. Like, oh God, I'm going to crash. This is going to make, and you don't crash. And like, but you have this level of anxiety, I think, as a beginning rider, no matter what. And it takes some time to get over that. It takes building the fitness. I think it was always like the biggest thing is like building that fitness level. And that's your first barrier to entry. And then it's like the skill set to like get over the technical features. And as you evolve, it gets easier, you get more comfortable, but you're always finding a new challenge, right? It's like, okay, well, I did this. Well, what if I could do this? And what if and then you still, you know, you always kind of keep yourself in the uncomfortable zone. Right. And not always, like I come out in here, right? I know this place really well. So like a lot of the stuff is pretty second nature to me, but then you go to a place like we were in Ecuador and there's just stuff that you just don't see. I've never seen it. So you go and do it and you're like, oh my God, I don't know how I didn't die. So we still get a level of that. But I think starting out as is intimidating. Like, what do I buy? How do I get there? What do I do next? Like, but once you get in, like all you need is a basic bike and a trail and go from there. Right. And once you get out there, I mean, it is, it's invigorating. It's one of those things where, you know, I guess it's hard to explain to someone who hasn't done it, right? Who hasn't been out there and experienced it, but it's a blast. There's a reason so many people are kind of in love with the idea of it and with riding. I want to ask you. You talked a little bit about this already, but getting into content creation around mountain biking, it like you said, you wanted to showcase, you know, what it's like and how accessible it is to get people outdoors, get people enjoying it, whatever it may be for them. Was it always kind of like that was the intent behind what you wanted to do with your channel? Was no. The original goal is like to make $1 million, you know, like 10 million. No, the original goal of the channel is just to entertain the pants off of people. I knew I had it in me, and like I maybe needed more attention than I thought I needed. I don't know what it was, but the original goal of the channel was 100% just to get in front of the camera and do something funny and entertain. Like that was it. That was it. And then it's still weird to me that people come up and say like, hey, I like picked up bikes because of you, because what I do is like not what Brian does. Like, you know, it's very skit-based stuff. It's comedy-based. It reaches a lot of people, but I don't like really attribute that with getting people into riding like what he does, right? So like it kind of spread the stoke partially just like showing cool outdoor environments, and the travel stuff's been cool because you could be like, hey,
you guys should go and check this out.
Right.
But no, the original goal of the channel was just to make people laugh. I knew I had it in me. I found like that through my job, which was very technical, I was losing some of my creativity. And so I started the channel to kind of reinvigorate that. And I overcompensated quite a bit here. But, you know, the idea was like, let's get out, let's have fun. And I think I can make people laugh. And, you know, I think I've proven my point. You know, like it took years. I mean, it was 5 years before I announced I was going full time. So it wasn't just like overnight,
right.
But it was the evolution of content. And I still really like it. Like, I still really like making content. And I think that's where some content creators like kind of fall back, because it is a lot of work.
Right.
And you have to sacrifice a lot of like personal time and like family time to get the things to work. But like, I actually like when I have a good idea for a video, like me, Jess, and Seabats get together, it's like so fun to shoot and edit and put it together. Like, you know, you can't wait to go home and edit it and like share it with them and be like, this is what I'm putting up tomorrow, dude. And they're like, nice. So it's still like, there's still a level of fun to that. And I think that's kept me going for sure.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, it'll be old content. But Jess, you guys both just came out with that video of kidnapping your buddies to go mountain biking. That was, oh man.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about that, the funniness of it, because it feels like you said, that's always been in you from 5 years ago. Looking at your first couple of videos, they were obviously had a humorous slant to them, even though they were, I guess, more trail focused. Yeah,
it was more like riding, like what Brian did, but with like my ridiculousness mixed in. I was like, exactly.
Where does the humor come from for you? Where have you always kind of felt you've had a little bit of a funnier side? And
I think so. Yeah, I always kind of found myself just like making jokes and stuff. And even when we were growing up in school, there was always like the class clown element, right? And how do you refine that? I never did any like stand-up comedy or anything like that, but I always like kind of knew how to time a joke. Sure. And I think it's because I've always like grown up loving watching comedy movies and things like that. And you know, the comedic timing, if you've seen enough, you kind of understand like, hey, here's where you put like, you stop the music to really let the joke hit. Like, what the hell? Like, you know, like there's these little things that if you watch enough stuff, like you pick up on it. And so I think I've done pretty good at that. I think like it'd be fun to do some dramatic elements, and like, you know how like all these like Jim Carrey and all these guys that are like incredible creatives and like really funny guys eventually go to drama. Yeah. And it'd be funny to do like some like dramatic, like
the Calirado Kid goes dark.
Yeah, because it would just be fun to edit for me, because I like trying out different editing styles. Be like, hey, how can I recreate that scene from this movie? Like, how do I make that and like translate that to like mountain bike stuff? And people get the references. So it's like, I like all elements of that, the shooting of the stuff. But yeah, the comedy side is just like, I kind of know. And then also like, it's kind of a universally accepted thing. Like, it turns out people like to laugh.
Right.
And I tell people this before. I haven't watched sports in years, but I remember we were watching the Super Bowl one year, and I was like a couple years into the channel. And I remember I was just struggling to get like any bike company to be interested in me. And I was like, it's crazy, because I had millions of views. I was like, how can I not get somebody on board here? Right. And I remember watching the Super Bowl, and like every commercial, 97% of them were comedy. And I was like, it turns out there was nothing to like, I wasn't scared anymore. I knew that I was onto something. It's like, hey, if this is where all the marketing is, like maybe the just mountain bike world hasn't caught up yet, you know? I'll stick with it. And it's worked out, you know? But it's like, it is true. People like to laugh. I think it's a universal language.
Yeah. So. And you're not obviously the only one doing that. You mentioned Jess, you mentioned Seabass, but I feel like at least the three of you, and of course there's others, but have really been pioneers in kind of that niche of the mountain biking world. Yeah. I mean, bringing, I feel like it makes it even more accessible. You know, if people can laugh about something especially that has happened to them, you know, when they're riding, it makes it feel like, all right, everyone's kind of on the same page. We're all having a laugh at, you know, throwing a helmet on and hitting the trail.
And, you know, like when it comes to content creation, like everybody has their own style. So it's like, some people are highly technical, like, and that really shines through in their channels. And like a guy like Outside Brendan, for example, it's like, what a maniac, dude. He's such a creative genius. Like, I love watching that stuff. So it's like, you know, seeing all that stuff unfurl and people tailor to their specialties. There's no wrong answer on how you could do something. It just so happens that like, that's what I enjoy doing. Like, so it's like, it works out well, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I got to think that, you know, the majority of what you're doing right now, you're making reels, short form content, but they're all sketches. They're all sketch work. And, you know, I would say, you know, in the similar vein of SNL style sketch work. I mean, it feels like it has to take time and effort to to develop the sketches, to write them, to come up with an idea, and then kind of see it to fruition. What's that process like for you? Yeah, sometimes it's like your mind can dry up with ideas. It's definitely something that happens frequently, and it's like it's happened enough that like
I know that I'm going to get through that barrier. Like, so that doesn't bother me. But like, sometimes it's just going on a ride and then something happens, you know, and like, for example, when we started doing a bunch of bike parks, and especially at Whistler, man, the ideas were flowing like crazy because it was a different environment that I'm used to. And so you're seeing all these new things and it's giving you ideas, pop, 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 pop. And then sometimes you come out and ride, like Granite Bend, I've ridden out here a million times. It's not really the idea zone anymore. Like I've done all this stuff, but still going on a ride is like, you know, it's funny, you know? So you get the basic idea. And I did one that was actually did really well out here. I was just riding around, I had nothing in my head. I was just like, let me just ride and maybe something will pop in here because I want to shoot something today. And I rode out here to these rocks and I was just sitting out here and I was like, it was one of the videos where the idea was like, you have 3 guys. And then one of the guys like, oh man, I can't figure out what's going on with my bike, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other guy's like, oh, you want me to take a look? He's like, oh man, if you don't mind, you know, like just like, I guess. So he goes over to the other guy and he's like, dude, like I could have sworn you knew how to fix that yourself. He's like, oh, I do, but he's a mechanic, dude. And if I can get him to fix it out here, it's free, you know? So I was like, and so I worked up that skin and ended up doing really well. It's like that free mechanic, like just invite your buddy on a ride because he's a mechanic, you know? It's like, but yeah, those ideas come organically a lot of the times, like based on experience. And then how do you refine it and make it better?
Right.
You need to be able to tell a joke in the shortest amount of time possible for it to really be perfect. Like, because if it takes too long and you draw it out too long, people won't stick around for the punchline.
Right.
So it's like, how do you shorten it to the point where it's like refined?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what we've done over the years is like all of us is just kind of figure out how to tell a joke while keeping people engaged until the end.
Yeah.
And then you get out. It's like, yeah, it's not easy, but it's like,
there's definitely an art to it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you can keep them strung along and hit the joke at the end, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works.
Yeah.
But you got to deliver on a promise. Like when it comes to a video, if you have a title on a video that says like, hey, when you invite your buddy on a ride or when you invite a road biker on a ride, there needs to be something in that video. Like you have to deliver on what you're saying because people have an expectation. So it's like, you'll see a lot of times we put a title on our video when we start like the video. It's like, hey, like when your buddy's got an e-bike and you don't, or whatever it is, right? And then like, how do you deliver that joke and make sure you deliver it at the end? It's like that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because people will take time to stick around because they got to read what's going on. Like, oh, what's this video about? And hopefully you can deliver a joke at the end of it. But,
right, because as you know, as short form content as it is, there is an arc to it.
Yeah.
And you got to see that arc through.
Yeah. Because if the video ends and they don't know that it ended, that's kind of not great. Like you want people to know like, that was good. You know, there should be a like distinct ending, like a conclusion to the video. Like sometimes you see videos you're watching like, oh, that was it. That won't go viral. Like it won't go crazy because if you see it and you're just like, oh, you expect it to keep going. And you're like, your reaction's like,
Yeah.
But if you can deliver like a good laugh at the end or whatever it is, like a good fact at the end, people are like, I didn't know that. You know, like that might people are more likely to engage with it, right? So
yeah.
There's all stuff we think about.
I gotta tell you, and I feel like someone reciting lines to an actor right now. But we were on the couch last night, my wife and I, and she was scrolling through Instagram, and I didn't see it, but I heard your voice.
Yeah.
And she watched it all the way through, and I looked over at her and I was like, thought that was funny. She goes, yeah, it's pretty funny. And I goes, I'm talking to that guy tomorrow. She goes, no way. She goes, no, you're not. I was like, I am.
Yes.
So it's catching on, even with the non-mountain bikers. It's getting there.
The interesting thing about that too is like if you look at the reach like that we all have, it's like crazy because you look at the numbers. Like for example, in the last 28 days, there's at least 4.5 million views just on Instagram alone, and then I only have 140,000 subscribers. So it's like it's a rough day to it's a rough time to actually gain followers these days. Like a video that it did 1.4 million in one day, and I think I got like 250 followers from that. Like.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
So it's such a weird time. So you think of like the follower count versus the actual reach.
Right.
The reach is pretty far. So you don't really sometimes we forget about that as creators. Like we're kind of tracking follower numbers, but it's not that important anymore. Yeah. But you know, seeing that on the back end, it's like a lot of people have seen this. Like it's crazy. They're not following me, but a lot of people have seen it.
It does kind of have to be a crazy feeling, right?
Yeah.
To just see the sheer amount of engagement and how far your reach is with this content. I mean, all kinds of people have interacted with what you're putting out. That's got to be pretty cool to sit back and be like, man, like, you know, this is making a difference to people. Yeah,
it's been fun. It's always humbling too when I get together with Seabass, the old normal mountain biker. So I'm like, dude, man, that video hit like, 4 million or whatever. And he's like, oh, mine hit 50 million. I was like, shut up, Seabass. You overachiever. Take it easy over here, all right?
Oh man, Seabass, love it.
He's crushing it, dude. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Him and his brother Durs are the best, man. Love those guys.
So you and him and Jess, like always on my For You page, just coming up with the funniest, stuff that I wouldn't even think about to make funny, but somehow you guys are making it making it humorous.
Yeah, and it's also like the element of like taking, like, say for example, we do a travel trip and and a place wants to bring us out to like highlight the writing because it's sick, like how do you frame that in our style too that's still engaging to the general population? It's always tricky to do that, but like I also want to tell people like places like Crested Butte are incredible. Like how do you like tell them like in a short form? It's harder, like but like yeah, there's places around the world that's like, dude, add this place to your list. But like I'm not known for a travel channel, but at the same time, like I want to let people know like some of my favorite places to ride. And so being able to mix in stuff with my own voice too is also like, I know those videos won't do as well, but like hopefully it reaches some audience, because it's like I like to mix that stuff in and be like, dude, this place is sick, you should go. Yeah, so there's local riding here that's dope, like the guys that shuttle Georgetown, like that's some good riding. And it's like, man, like how do you spread the word and get people to know about it? It's
yeah, absolutely. I did want to touch on that. You mentioned that your content isn't necessarily about traveling the world and seeing the best trails, but you've had the opportunity, especially this year, to go to some really fantastic places. I mean, Whistler, Ecuador, Red Bull Rampage. I mean, like all kinds of awesome spots for riding, and really probably places that exposed to new cultures, new communities. What's it been like traveling to all these places this year?
It's been wild, man. I mean, going out to Whistler for a couple weeks, the original scope of that project, like I wasn't really planning on going to Crankworks. I wanted to, I was thinking about it, but I hadn't locked it in. And then Jess was like, hey, we're working on this project with Specialized. So they kind of just wanted to bring me in as a cameraman. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll just come help out. That'd be great. And then I can make stuff on the side and we'll be out there for a while. So, and she had her accident, so she didn't end up coming. But the trip ended up going great. I got a ton of stuff filmed out there, and the more time I spent out there, the more ideas I had. And of course, I know a lot of people up north, so riding with like my buddy Nick from the Van Can channel and getting to do a video with Mark Matthews, who's awesome. Like it was a great experience. And my, riding leveled up being out there for that long. Like before I would go out I think I went out for like 3 days of riding. Last time I went to Whistler, the first time and last time I went out to Whistler. And I got to ride some stuff, but you didn't really spend time like sessioning some properly chunky, nasty stuff.
Sure. This
time it was like every double black tech trail I could find, we were hitting it. It was like right up my alley. So my riding levels increased. It was really fun. The Ecuador trip was something that fell into my lap as well, where it's like I didn't really expect to go out there, but we made it work, and it was like a tremendous experience. I always love experiencing new cultures and seeing, and people are so stoked when you're out there. Like we showed up to local trailheads, and it was just so cool, like seeing everybody. And I was telling somebody, we showed up like, it looked like a school almost. It's like a little playground. And then like there's people in the parking lot like putting on like chest protectors and full faces. I'm like, what the hell are we about to ride, dude? So we go up to this park, I think it was Pincha, and we go up to this park and there's just massive gaps. There's big old jumps. There's huge road gaps. There's all this stuff. And I was like, no clue this was out here. It was wild. So it's cool to experience that and meet people from across the world. And I always tell people like, man, you got to travel. Like, don't just ride your local trails all the time. Eventually, like plan a trip, whether it's an 8-hour drive or whatever, go somewhere different and see different terrain. Like here's a good example. Sedona's a good example where the terrain's wildly different than what you're used to or whatever. And then go practice skills for those areas. And like you improve as a rider. It's really cool. And so that's kind of what you have the more you travel like that. And then, people like even here, I'm like, have you been to Whistler? Like, nah, I was wanted to. I'm like, that's like a 12-hour drive, dude. You can go anytime you want. Like, what are you doing? Quit making excuses.
Get out there,
Quit making excuses. Get out there and ride.
I love it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, favorite non-mountain biking memory from all the trips this year?
Oh man, it had to be Ecuador. We were horseback riding through the Cotopaxi region.
Oh wow. And
we just had a guided horseback tour, but it was just beautiful. Like the volcanoes and everything. It was like pretty dang cool. We also they took us on a whitewater rafting trip through the Amazon, essentially.
Yeah.
And so we got like halfway through the trip, we pull off for lunch and we're there, and like I just wander.
Yeah.
So I'm like kind of wandering, there's some shacks and stuff, and I'm wandering through like the jungle, which has been a dream of mine forever. I just want to wander the jungle, all right? And so I'm wandering around and I see leafcutter ants for the first time in real life. I've seen them on videos and documentaries. It's like I'm nerding out over a trail of leafcutter ants, and then I find like a tree with a wild cacao pod growing on it. So I get somebody to haul me up and grab that and pop it open, and we're eating like cacao seeds, which you would ferment to make chocolate.
Right.
Oh man, I nerd out on that stuff so bad. It was so fun.
I love that you said my dream has been to wander jungle. Some people's dreams, $1 million, big house on the beach. Wander jungle.
I just wanted to wander. Dude, the first thing we did, we got into this one place. They took us like outside this town. It was like almost like no cell service. We're in these like wooden shacks with mosquito nets and stuff. Brilliant little spot. And we were supposed to go to dinner, and people were taking forever. So I'm like, I found a flashlight, and I was like, hey, just call me when you need me. And and I go wandering into the jungle, and I'm with a flashlight. I'm finding all kinds of cool stuff. Giant spiders this size. I'm finding like leafcutter ants. I'm finding all this stuff. Oh, they were so pissed. I was gone for like an hour. They were waiting for me. There was no cell reception, so they couldn't call me. They just wandering around looking for creatures. And I call it the Calirado Kid Animal Adventure Tours on my story posts. And like, I was like, this has been the best thing.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to do that for hours.
Yeah. Such a cool experience, and so cool that mountain biking can lead to something like that, right? I mean, it's not just about the trails, not just about the riding itself. I was talking to Robert, Biker B1, about the idea that a lot of it is the community you build, the people you get to share these experiences with, the new places and locations you get to explore. It's all tied into this sport of mountain biking. It's part of what makes it really, really special.
That's what I say. It's kind of like a bit of a gateway drug. Like, you get a bike, you go ride a trail, you'll fall in love with everything out here, and then you'll start doing more stuff. So it's like, you'll take the mountain bike and then you'll load a kayak too. Like, when I've got my truck in the summer, it's like kayak up top, bike in the back, and wherever I go, I could ride and then jump on the kayak afterwards, jump in the water, go swim. So it's like it's a full cycle, man. You end up getting into all kinds of stuff, and you just want to explore more and more. And whether that transitions into like, I could see myself doing like a backpacking trip where you hike up to a peak and camp and stuff. Originally, like, I really wanted to do like bike packing. That sounded really fun. And then I was like, wait a minute, you can kind of do that on a motorcycle, I found out. So I got the adventure motorcycle, and we're doing some BDR routes and stuff. And I still, like I said, I'm learning on that. It's like a whole new thing. But you can load the camping gear, and it's kind of like supplements like the bike packing dream. Like, I was like, oh, that sounds fun, but this sounds even funner. Like, you know, just rip the moto up with all the gear, and I got a bike rack for it now, so I could actually fit a mountain bike on the motorcycle. It's so stupid. It's the best.
That sounds awesome.
So sick.
I think Jeff Kendall Weed does that with one of his bikes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Very
so then
cool.
the next step is like getting the moto skills up. But I spend so much time mountain biking and filming for mountain biking that I might get out like once every 2 weeks on a quick cruise. I'm not really like doing what I should be doing, which is like spending time to get good at it. So I'll get there.
I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned it earlier in this podcast, you went full-time content creation in January. There's got to be a lot of emotions around that.
Yeah.
What was it like taking the plunge? I'm always curious when people go from making content, you know, as a side project, if you will, to making it their full-time occupation. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's still pretty stupid that I'm able to do that with like primarily social media income. It's not like I'm getting paid a ton. I don't monetize on TikTok. I don't monetize on IG. I get a little bit of revenue off of YouTube. It's all brand deals and stuff. And so it's like the fact that I'm able to do it is pretty crazy. But it's been good. I mean, there's like a little bit more stress on your shoulders because you got to constantly produce. But if you're finding good stuff to produce, like, I don't really mind like just ramping it up and all that stuff. Being, you know, it's stressful because it feels like you're on a ticking time bomb, right? The clock's ticking down, and at any point, everything could just go bad. Like, people could stop watching, all that stuff will tank what I'm doing, right? So there's always that level of stress where, you know, at some point, this isn't going to last forever, right? So when's that going to be? I have a say in it by producing videos and keeping good quality content and keeping engagement up and stuff, but I might not have a say in it at one point. So there's always that stress of like, oh man. So if you have a couple videos that don't do great in a row, you're like, oh shit, it's over. Like, I'm gonna have to get a job again. Like, so there's always like, you know, there's always that level of stuff. And if you can like kind of brush some of it aside occasionally, that's what you got to do. Like, really constantly moving forward. But there's always going to be that level of stress where it's like, nothing's working or whatever. But then you just go make a video, then it crushes. You're like, I'm back, baby. So it's like, it's an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
But you know, as long as you can kind of like keep moving forward and not let it affect you too much. Like, we don't care that much about performance on videos that much anymore. So, but you know, an algorithm change could change things. And all of a sudden you see this drop off, you're like, wait, what happened?
Right.
Everything was doing great last week.
Yeah.
I saw that on TikTok once where I was like, oh, boom, 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 hit, and then like all of a sudden, like just nothing. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm dead on this platform. And it was right after they banned it. So it was like right when they banned the channel, you're like, okay, well, and then they brought it right back, right? I remember specifically like every piece of momentum that I had was like gone for weeks or months. And so I was like, oh, I guess I'm done with this platform. And then it started coming back. I was like, oh. So you just don't know. Like, you're at the whim of the platforms, which is why I go across multiple platforms. And then other than that, you just got to kind of let it go. Like, yeah, that's where we're at.
It's such a, it's got to be so exciting, so challenging.
Yeah.
So time consuming, for lack of better words. I want to ask it, are there times, and I asked Brian this too, and he had a really fascinating answer.
Yeah.
Are there times when you don't want to get on the bike? Are there times when it's like, man, I'm tired. I don't want to, you know, I've been riding for however many days in a row. but I've got to go out and make content.
Yeah.
Are there times where it all kind of gets to you in terms of that?
I think the benefit is like, obviously I don't really need to ride to make videos. So I
Sure.
could go in the garage and shoot something or something. But from the shooting perspective, there's days where it's like, what I do is very creative driven. So it's like, if I don't have an idea, I can't go shoot anything, right? So that's kind of troublesome sometimes, because if you can get in a creative rut, and then there'll be other times where I'm like driving to a trailhead and like idea after idea after idea will hit. Like I was going out to Slide Park the other day and a tunnel hit and you're like, I'm back, baby. So I know that's going to happen. It's going to happen. But I think the riding, from the riding perspective, sometimes it's just like trail boredom almost. And I'm not talking bad about my local trails, but you know, you're just like, I've ridden, like one of the reasons why I love mountain biking so much is exploring something new and seeing new things and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so going out to ride the same trail I've ridden a million times sometimes is like, it's good. I never regret it. When you go on a ride, you're always like, oh man, I felt great afterwards. But you're just not like, not thrilled to go. Like when I come out here, I just end up getting, I start screwing around.
Yeah.
Like I was showing you, I come on ride on the beach and play around and sit on the rocks and take shots and film stuff. Like I get distracted.
Yeah.
Cause it's just like, you know, it's not like you're going like, hey, let's go ride this new trail I've never seen before. And then you just like, I'm really engaged, you know, or something gnarly. If you're riding something really gnarly, you're really engaged on that. But I think the regularity is like not my strong suit. I like improvisation. I like new stuff all the time. So it's like when I go ride in a new area, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like a kid in a candy store. And so like now it's a matter of like finding those regions here and like branching out to some trailheads I haven't ridden before. And like, you know, I think everybody has that though. I have to assume like, I like riding bikes and I never regret going on a ride. But like I said, going to ride the same trail I've ridden a million times is not the reasons why I love mountain biking. The reason why I love it is like the discovery and exploration. Yeah. Which is why there's no wrong answer when you go on a ride. Like if a buddy takes me on an XC ride, like I still just have a blast. Like we're just riding together, you know? Yeah. So, you know, I like downhill, I like any type of riding. It's like whatever. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I counted the word times you said the word wander.
Yeah.
When you were riding out here, I was like, man, there's something magical about that. Just getting on your bike and wandering. Like
I just go wandering around. And like, you know, we have bikes that are capable of like doing weird stuff. So I'll come out here and start bouncing around on these rocks and finding little rock rolls out here. And so, I mean, there's no wrong way to enjoy a bike. And so it's kind of maybe a way for me to cope, you know, like and find new fun things to play around on. And it keeps my mind stimulated, you know, because otherwise I'm just out here. I don't play music when I'm on a ride. So you're in your own head, you know? Right. So, you know. Yeah,
definitely. You know, you've amassed this following. Yeah. You've got people, like you said, millions of people are seeing the stuff that you put out. I'm positive that you've been able to interact with a lot of these people out in the real world. Yep. What's it like? What's the feeling like when someone recognizes you and says, hey, the Calirado Kid, what's going on, man? Like, that's got to be so cool.
Man, I hate it. I wish they would all leave me alone, you know? I'm a superstar, all right? They should be paying for the right. No, it's been great. Honestly, like the subtle side effect of this whole thing. I remember the goal was like always just to get out and entertain people. So like, I had a feeling I could do it. I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but it worked. And then like the side effect ended up being pretty early on as I started to gain traction was like realizing how cool it was to talk to people from all over the world. Yeah. And they would reach out to me on Instagram message or whatever it was. And then you started to get recognized on trailheads and now I get recognized everywhere. And I'm always happy to take time to talk to people. Like I'll talk their ear off and they like maybe have something better to do. And I'm 20 minutes later, I've told them a story and they're like, Jesus, man. So I really appreciate that. Like we were in Whistler and some guys from somewhere in South America. I mean, they were from Chile actually. And they like come up and say hi to us. And like, I talked to your off for 20 minutes. Cause I'm like, when am I ever going to see these people again? I'm happy to take time and tell stories. And it's been a really cool side effect that I didn't expect. And also like, I'm willing to like, people will find me filming or whatever, or I have something to do that I should be doing. But if somebody comes up, I'll end up talking to them. I think it's such a high priority for me to actually hang out with people. And I take time to respond to messages and stuff too. So like people like will hit me up and I'll just answer random questions or whatever. Like, it's like, I don't know. I think that's kind of the coolest thing about this is like knowing people from everywhere. And I don't know, like I appreciate that people take the time. And so, yeah, it's been really cool. I didn't know how far it was going to go. It's been kind of crazy now. But you know, I take the time. I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it. Yeah. I like hanging out with people. So
yeah, definitely. And on that note, you know, you're still very active locally. You know, thinking about the REI partnership that you had, the mountain bike beginners class that you did. You know, is it important to you to still have that presence, you know, even with you, you know, going all over the place? Is it still important to you to, you know, be supportive of causes in and around your area?
Yeah, I wish I could have a better, like, it seems hard to me to actually promote the things that I would want to promote. Like, you'd think it'd be just as easy as like, you put it on your page and everybody sees it. Yeah. That's not the way the algorithms work. Like if I put a post up and say, hey, we got an event going on, like, no, they won't show that to anybody or something. So it's like, I'll have people hit me up and they're like, hey, I didn't know you were going to do that. I would have gone, like, or whatever. Like, I did story posts. I do a post on the, I do like a carousel. I do all these things to try to spread the word. And I don't know really have the best way to get my information, because I'd love to, like, hey, we're doing a group ride to help promote a local trailhead or something or whatever. Like, I just don't know how to get that word out sometimes. Like, a story can be finicky. Like, you could do a story post, like if you do the way that, and this is stupid, we're going to dive into Instagram, but if you do a story post with just a picture and a bunch of text and you've had nothing on your story for the last day or so, if you put that up, that could hit like 15,000 views on a story post. But then if I put like a story post where I'm like talking out here, like, hey, we got this thing going on, it might get like 3,000 views or something. It's like, where's the drop off happen? How do I reach people to tell them, because they'd be interested? Hey, we're going to do a fundraiser, local bike park or something. Like, I'd love to get that place packed, you know? But it's also like we have a global fan base, right? So it's like there's people from all over the world, not just here, even though like a lot of people know me when they find me out here. But I don't know if they're keeping track, where they're keeping track. Like, are they keeping track on TikTok? Are they like, so it's a long-winded answer to your question. But the bottom line is, like, yeah, I like to do that stuff. I just wish like I had a better way to deliver the information of like what's going on to people. Because, man, I feel like there'd be like a lot of people that would jump in on that. Like, of course. I want to like say, hey, this is going on. I want like the place to be exploding with people. But it's not always that easy. It's like crazy. You think the platforms that we have and the reach that we have, it would be easy. But it's like, maybe that's a newsletter. I've talked about it. My wife's like, you got to start a newsletter. But I'm like, because then you could just directly give the information to people and you know they'll get it.
It'll be in their inbox.
Yeah, because if I put it on an Instagram post, they might not be on Instagram that day. They might just never see it.
Well, yeah, and the rules for social are always changing. That's the tough part, right? You've talked about it already. I mean, it's hard to keep up with what is, you know, working and what's getting out there.
And that's kind of my job now, to keep track of that. But at the end of the day, the reason why I got into this is to entertain and not to like study algorithms and all that crap. So, you know, whatever. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And if it starts going horribly wrong, then I'll figure it out. But yeah, it's been good.
Well, I got a couple last questions here for you. They're the big introspective questions. So 5 years ago, you started this thing. It's got to be pretty mind-blowing to be here in 2025, to be a full-time content creator, to be, you know, having this kind of impact on all of the people that you are. What has this journey meant to you? What is all of this, you know, all of the hard work, all of the time, all of the effort, what has it meant to you to be able to have this journey as the Calirado Kid?
It's been interesting. I mean, I think the craziest thing is, like, and this is always said, I think, with people that find a level of success, it's hard to like retroactively look back at the process and be like appreciative. It's hard sometimes because you're like still stressed about what's to come. And I think you're so focused on what you're doing next that you forget like where you're at and where you've come to, right? So it's like this whole process, every step of the way, there's been like this big step, this big leap or everything. But now I'm like where I'm at now, I'm like looking at what's next. And so I'm like forgetting about it. And like, you do have to stop and like realize like how cool it is. I'm like, hey, today I'm just gonna go ride around and do all this stuff. Like, it's, man, but you definitely take it for granted because like you're just so focused on how do you make another good video? How do you like, there's always like, you're just always dealing with stuff all the time. I don't know, that's like a pretty mediocre way to explain. Like, it's hard for it to set in and like to sit back and be like, man, look at what I've done, because I feel like I haven't done it all yet. You know, I feel like there's still more, but I don't know what that is, because sometimes you set goalposts and then you like, that's not a goalpost. You kick a ball through a goalpost. You set like race line. What do you something you run through? You know what I'm saying? Like you set finish lines.
There you go.
And then you go through the finish line and you're like, oh crap, like what do I do next? Like, good example is like in The Dark Knight when he asked the Joker, like whatever, he's like, I'm just a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught it, you know? So you achieve this thing and you're like, oh man, I did it. Well, now what do I do? Like, you know, like it's a bit of that, because like we're still in the forefront of like the social media thing. So it's like, what's next? You know, I've done what I meant to do. I meant to reach a lot of people and make a lot of people laugh and be known all over the place and, you know, go full time. And now I'm full time. Okay, what do I do now? Like, keep making stuff? What's the evolution? Like, I'm always thinking of like, how do you go from here? I need to do more long form stuff. Do I start a brand? Like, I don't know.
And the mountain biking world is changing as we speak. I mean, we talked about this off camera, you know, the YT situation and everything. It's got to be, you know, as you're having this success, as you're looking at what's next, it's got to be interesting thinking about how do I evolve? How do I continue to adapt to this changing landscape? Yeah,
and I think like that boils down to like, for example, the benefit of what I do is like, I think a lot of mountain bikers, like we talked about, are very outdoorsy focused. So I think if I started working in like external outdoor stuff, whether it's like a hiking video or something that like related just to the outdoors, camping or something, I think the general mountain bike audience would appreciate that too. Or if it's an overlanding video or something, like there could be more stuff that could fit on my channel that provides more content and more like creative outlet for me that also evolves the audience a little bit and expands it. And then also like that will help me reach outside the bike world in case, you know, everything tanks or like luckily, like I've worked with some sponsors that are like, they're external, like Honey Stinger, for example, they do a lot of stuff. It's not just mountain biking, it's running, it's trail. So there's a lot of other stuff. It's not just like segmented in the bike world. So if the industry tanks, like at least I've got something to fall back on. Who knows? Like, but really a lot of the people I work with could be not just bike stuff, but other stuff. So that's been cool. Like, you know, it's not fully bike. And I really think I should evolve the content into more outdoor focused stuff. And I think, again, most mountain bikers are outdoor people, so they'll get it anyway.
I would say I think people would gravitate towards that for sure.
Yeah, tell me a mountain biker that hasn't gone camping, and I don't know. I'll be amazed to see it. All right, I'll be amazed to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If there's one thing about all of this that's been the most rewarding to you, what's it been?
Oh man,
I told you I was getting introspective with you.
From a personal perspective, I think the idea of governing my own time has been. I've never been able to do that, like ever. Like I've always had a school or a job my whole life, right? All of us have had that. So governing my own time is a blessing and a curse, right? Because I'm like, I'm gonna get out and get all this stuff done. Or there's days where you're like, you could just easily not do anything. But it's like making sure you're governing your own time properly. And like, I've never been a scheduler, I've never been a planner. So it's like, especially hard, you know, like I just wing things. I just do stuff. So that's been really cool, is being able to govern my own time and use it the way that I want. And that's been, you know, instrumental in the travel that I've done. Like, hey, we're going out to this trip or we're going to do all this stuff. And so being able to do that stuff, it's a lot more fluid than it used to be. And my wife's like, hey, we should go do a barbecue tour or something. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, what are we waiting for? Oh, the kids are in school. That's right. Oh yeah. But you know, like I can kind of like make these changes and I can film anywhere and work anywhere, which has been awesome. Like once that sets in, that set in a couple of years before I went full time, which made it like, this could be the dream. I was on a kayak, just kayaking out in Lake Natoma. And like I had a email that was going on about like a sponsorship opportunity. I'm like over, boom, send an email. Okay, boom, cool. And I kept kayaking. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm kind of working from a kayak right now. It was like the coolest thing, you know? And that idea that like, oh, maybe I could do this one day. And like, now I'm kind of that. I'm like, yeah, that's been cool.
Yeah. It's
been an interesting revelation.
Yeah.
And so it's still like, it's a blessing and a curse, because you could easily like, if you fail, it's your fault. And if you don't, it's your fault. Like, it's like,
right.
But you could easily just be like, fall back, don't make the content you need to make. You always got to be doing something, otherwise you're going to fail. Like, so it's like, you know, it's all on your shoulders now.
Yeah.
It's been good. I pulled it off so far. I haven't led the family to financial ruin, is what I say. So it's been good. Yeah. People still put up with me, you know?
I mean, look, that's half the battle.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep. They just got to tolerate me. The wife and I are so successful. She just tolerates me.
This is more of a personal curiosity at this point. You've got so much going on. You have so much energy. I mean, even just talking to you, I can see the energy bursting out of the seams, really. What does relaxing look like for Joe? What is, when the cameras turn off, when the Calirado Kid is taking some R&R, what is that for you? Man,
I've always been a big movie guy. I love watching movies. I still to this day, I appreciate good cinema and stuff. So I do really enjoy it. I'm not really a TV guy. Like the episodic stuff, I get disinterested really fast for some reason. Unless it's a show like Breaking Bad or something that's truly exceptional, they'll lose me fast. But I love good movies. So I'm always watching movies, but I've been a gamer my whole life. So I don't have as much time as I used to in terms of playing games, but I grew up playing games. I don't know how I didn't get in the video game streaming world. I'd probably be really successful at that. I could be making tons of money. But like, I still like playing games. So like I got my gaming PC, I just got Arc Raiders and I'm starting to play that, which is an extraction shooter. And like, it's been fun, like Borderlands 4. So there'll be like a half hour to an hour a night, maybe every few days a week, that I could carve and I could just zone out. And that's cool. Like I still enjoy doing that. So when I'm not outdoors, I can't play video games during the day anymore. Like I used to, when I was a kid, you'd play all day.
Sure.
If it's nice out, like I just have internal guilt.
Right.
It's impossible. So like I have to, like, it's gotta be night, the kids are to bed and I'll like zone in for a little bit. But like, it's like, if it's nice out, I feel so guilty playing a video game now. It's just like, I could be out riding or doing something. So
yeah.
The personal guilt sets in.
There's that itch. Yeah.
Yeah. Personal guilt sets in hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you the floor.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to add? Anything that's coming up? Anything you're excited about for the future? What's next for the Calirado Kid?
Oh man, the biggest thing, like I said, it's always fluid. It's sometimes I don't have anything on the plans for this coming year. there's a possibility we could do like a trip to Oaxaca or something next year that people could get involved with. Again, how do I spread the word? Like, it was a great trip and super affordable, but that'd be cool if we did a group ride or something. I always thought I'd like to open that up, because people always want to say they want to ride with me. So I'm like, hey, here maybe there's an opportunity to go do somewhere exotic, right? Yeah. But other than that, it's like the biggest thing that people do is like liking and commenting is like such a huge clutch move. That keeps us going. It keeps us moving forward. When we see engagement in a video, like, it's pretty obvious when a video is going to be successful. If you put it out and like there's no comments in the first, like very little comments in the first hour, you're like, ah, this video's done.
Right.
But then you'll put a video out and it'll be like, bum, 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 you're like, this one hit. So, you know, it's cool to, I don't want people to comment on videos they think are stupid, but you know, the point is like, people always ask like what they could do to help, and like that you're doing enough already. Like, I don't really have a Patreon thing set up. I don't really have any merch right now. So it's like, as long as people are engaging and digging it and sharing it, like they're doing enough, you know?
Yeah.
Until I release a product, and they better damn well buy it. But I don't have anything in the books for that. So eventually we'll get there. Yeah. I'm not a very savvy businessman, all right? I just came out here to entertain people. Yeah, I'm not very good at making money, apparently. God.
Oh, man.
I'll figure this out eventually.
Yeah, well, you'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, Seabass just launched his line of lubes and cleaners and stuff, which is sick. So he's got the Filthy company now.
Right.
Smart. He's been working his ass off at that. I was like, I don't even have a t-shirt. So
I would buy a Calirado t-shirt. Yeah. Trust me, I would. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of other people would too.
I'll get there eventually. Yeah, one of these days.
Love it.
Yep.
Well, Joe, thank you so much. This has been awesome. I really appreciate getting some time to talk to you. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's go hit some trails.
Yeah, for sure. And don't tell the wife that I didn't wear sunscreen. She's gonna freak out.
Same here.
Yeah, we're gonna be good.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
Yep.